All right, happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to your daily lighting critique. I wanted to start today. Oh, he was just here. He left. Oh, there he is. I wanted to start today with Kevin's. We talked about this a little bit on the chat. I think it's good. I think we're ready to call this one final, and I wanted to give it the proper applause that it deserves. So if you guys want to clap with me real quick and just say good job, Kevin. Yeah. All right, buddy. All right. So got that out of the way. Now let's get into some critiquing. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna do a couple things today. We've got the stills. We also have the we've got our normal video files, which actually let me stop these playing, and then we also have a little walkthrough from Mohammed from yesterday. So he was asking about this idea of like, what do you do if you render lights out separately in a scene, right? And I kind of wanted to show the idea of the additive lighting process. So this is a character I did a while back. This is Adam. This is one of our in the asset library or on the marketplace. And I just have like a key light, fill light, and rim light, and a little bit of an extra spec. We've talked about this a little bit, so I wanted to include this in here too. And the basic idea is you want all of these to be built together into the final image. So the easiest way to do it is you just start merging these together. And by default, the merge operation is going to be over. And that's not going to give us what we want because, as you can see, their alpha channels are pure white. So if you think of it like little cutout pieces of paper, if you're just putting one over the other one, that's not going to add them together. So what we want to do is we want to change this from an over operation to a plus operation because we want to plus those values together. And I know this dialog box is confusing, but the one thing that we want to change is that we want to look at the A channel is plussing together the RGBA, and the B channel is bringing in the RGBA. So one of the things that is actually happening that's undesirable is that we're adding the alpha channel, which isn't a big deal right here in the middle, but sometimes there's like these semi-transparent edges that if you start adding them together, the alpha value goes from 0.3 to 0.6 to 0.9. Like, you're literally just plussing those values together. So one of the things you want to do is just roll that back so only one of the channels is bringing in the alpha because they're identical alpha channels. So then what you would want to do is you'd want to do that for each one of these. You want to plus in the rim, and then you also want to plus in, and I'm just going to switch these real quick just so that, because usually you want the B side of your node operations to be the through line, and you want to add in the A's because it's literally plussing the A on top of the B. So what we can do now is we can go in and we can control these individually. Like that's the spec. If we want to take down this fill value, we can go in here and pull this down. And that's how we can kind of build it up. And that's a very common way of doing additive lighting. Now, one of the things that I'm not going to go into detail in explaining it, but one of the things that you want to do when you do this setup is you always want to unpre-mult out the alpha before you do these like additions and color corrections, and then at the end pre-mult them back together. I have a separate video explaining why that is. It has to do with the alpha channel and getting those like black outlines and white outlines on things and avoiding that. But this is my general workflow for bringing these things together. And again, like this gives you total control. And you can see I use that over here in this image. Let me just, I have these deactivated. And like I use this to build up this, not that one, this final image of having him over top. And again, like you want to just sprinkle in some specularity. And then you can do things from here like isolate crypto mats. You can, you know, really do whatever you want because you have that isolation, you have that control. So I hope that's helpful to what you were dealing with yesterday. Okay, so let me close Nuke. Nuke is a ramp hog. Does anybody have any questions about this?
Oh no, thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just coming up. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, that was a bit of a 4-minute crash course, but but hopefully that's that'll get you what you need. So, all right, Aaron. So we've got your. Let's take a look at the previous version first, and then we'll go to the updated one. So this is looking good. We're still missing the shaders on those fallen leaves, right?
Yeah, the shaders on that, and then there's something else. It's gonna have to be a weekend thing. I'm getting updated animation.
Oh. Yeah.
And so I'll have to change that out this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that like I have to do this weekend. Oh, iDings I'm gonna try to do tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And get that in for tomorrow. And then yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay, I've got three things to focus in on. So number one that I'm curious about is this branch might be feeling a little low res. Like I wonder if it's just because we're getting close enough to it that it might be that. Just take a look at it and see if there's a way of getting either a higher resolution on that, if possible. If not, it's not that like if like there's a way of, depending on how, like if it was done procedurally, can you just upplay the resolution? Is there, I don't know. If it's easy, cool. If not, don't worry about it. It's not that big a deal.
I feel like it's not easy because like I can't do anything. It's just I think it's just a pole that he's like broken out into like 4 or 5 segments.
Yeah.
And then texture wise, I can look, but I don't think the texture is going to get any bigger. I'll check.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's like if it's an existing tech, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like some 4K thing that was downsized and then imported or something. You know what I mean?
That's actually, it's also a 540 resolution render pumped into a 1080 output. So maybe like hopefully
that might be it. Yeah. That's probably it. Okay. So that was one. Number two is looking at this before, and I think I want to see because this brightness on this branch is fairly empty through like the first 80 frames or 100 frames or so. Basically, I want to see this level of brightness back over here on this. Like I want to see that level of brightness there, and then a little bit less brightness here. Because I want my focus. I want is back there. I don't want it as much here. And like when you look at it without the characters on it yet, like my focus goes to the foreground more than the background.
Yep.
Cool. So that was number two, and then the third one was just I still don't feel like the bug is casting shadows onto that branch fully.
Yeah, so I messed with those. I turned my radius way down on. He has a very specific tiny key light on him that is supposed to be casting his shadows. I turn it down.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that other lights are washing it out? Is that?
I think possibly. I mean, I think the best solution would be whatever light is like whatever this key light is that's causing these shapes.
Yeah.
If we could make a shadow pass for the bug that's in the same position of that light. I mean, because ideally the bug would be in that same light and casting that shadow. Yeah.
So there's an overall key for the entire scene,
mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a key that just kind of brightens him a little bit, like
mm-hmm,
it's very small. And then there's the gobo light that's casting the thing. So one of those 3 lights, I don't want to rotate my master key, obviously.
No,
so.
I think the gobo light, maybe just try including, like having the bug be a part of that light set. Like have it be included in the local, if you're light linking it to that branch, just also link it to the bug and see if that works.
Yeah.
Because if you link it to the bug, it'll include the light on there, and that's all we're looking for. It might make the bug a little bit brighter, but we'll see.
I'll check and see what's going on.
Cool. That was it. But I think this is looking great. This looks really good overall. And actually, I had Jasmine on a call earlier, and I pulled this up because she was excited about it early on, and she was like, "Yeah." And then the bug might be a little bit saturated, but I like the color a lot.
I was gonna say, like, how do you feel about the bug? He feels saturated here, but
especially his legs feel very saturated.
Yep.
So that's looking really good. All right. Next up, we have a very cool thing that I've never like. This is I think it was Python scripting. He said. But like, this is rad. I don't know. I think this is a fun little project. I'm not gonna get like, I don't really have any aesthetic notes. Let's see if there's anything else on it. Yeah, here's anything. Nathania, oh yes, this is a little Nuke Python scripting. Beams are still IP. Work in progress. I'm pretty happy with the heat trail look. I like the heat trail look. I plan on playing with the exposure of the gray layer to get the far robots to read better, but I also forgot to animate visibility on slidey MC slider bot on the deep render. That's really okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the lasers surrounding it could illuminate the scene a little bit more. Like they could just be brighter and just glowier. It sounds like you're still working on that. I think the heat mapping stuff looks pretty cool. This almost feels like a security camera that's set up in the scene that could accompany anybody else's animation on this. But yeah, this is one of the downsides of if you start adding cameras to existing animation is that you, like, watch this foreground robot. Like, he does some weird stuff. Because the animator's like, oh, he's off camera, it doesn't matter. But I think this looks cool. Do you guys have any thoughts on this? Aaron, you've done some abstract imagery stuff.
I think he's having some technical difficulties at the moment.
Okay, never mind then. But yeah, no, I think, yeah, brighter lasers around the side, glowing it up in the room a little bit, reading a little more sense of the depth. You talked about making some adjustments to the robots and Slidey McSliderson. I like that move by a robot. I think that's funny. I don't know why. But yeah, I think it's looking cool. I would say just keep going for now. All right. We're going to take a look at some stills next up. All right. Kevin, we already clapped for you. I'll make sure you heard that. Antonio, you are up. Oh, actually, let's do Dani first because you're here. So this one I think looks really good. I like you found a really nice balance in the reflection on his face. I think that's looking really nice. I would just tone down. Let me backtrack on that note. I was gonna say I want to tone down some of this brightness here on his fingers, but I think that just makes too much sense to avoid. Do you guys have any other notes on this?
I think it looks really good. I know all those minor tweaks, but it definitely has helped.
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, just since it's a still, I mean, and I'm also looking at a Discord version of this, but like any kind of these bright lights, I would just try to like crank up samples and do just another like, I mean, as long as you're not rendering the whole image again, like just try to get some of the noise out of there, but
yeah.
Like his right eye, I don't know if that's maybe the shader, but like his screen right eye feels a little noisy too. I don't know, but yeah, I would say that too. And then this is super minor. I was just looking up here, because I was like looking at the composition overall, and it's kind of like there's a little bit of dead space up here. I wonder if we couldn't put in like a little shadow from this curtain onto the wall here and just kind of darken a little bit there, and that'll help compositionally bring us down a little bit further. And then yeah, Aaron has a really good point. It's also in my non-Discord. Then my local screen, it's also a little bit noisy in there, so I would say to go ahead and do that too. All right. Okay, so I think that one looks good. Nighttime. Yeah, also feeling pretty good about this. Just gonna leave it open if you guys see anything. You guys got anything? Think it's good. You guys want to clap? Kind of feel like clapping for Dani. All right, Dani. Woo. Thank you.
All right, last up we have Antonio. He's got a few stills from his animated shot with this guy. These are looking really great. And I read your comments. You're still working on eye dings. The wall was too far back. That's totally fine. If I was you, I would give it a try on the wall of just adding a little bounce light on the bottom, because if you think about these lights coming in and like really hammering the ground with a lot of bright outdoor light, there might be a little light bouncing up here. That will give us an opportunity to create a little variation on some of these walls, maybe even these over here. Just like a little area light underneath that just kind of creates a little bit of a bounce glow. For the character himself, I think he's looking really good. One thing I would love to see is a slight color distinction between his lips and his skin. It's like a little bit of a. It's just like a little. It's just like. It always throws me off when the skin just feels like skin throughout that. So just if you can go in, if it's UV'd out to the point where you could just create a little bit of a slight like a soft or something. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but just like a little bit of a distinction, so we can kind of help identify his lips a little bit more. In the shots where we can see his teeth, they look a little bit cold. I would just warm them up a little bit, because if you think about light bouncing around in there against your gums and your skin, it just picks up a lot of warmer colors. Also, like if you're older, you get some tartar buildup, and that ends up being a little more yellow than anything else. His skin, I would say it might be a little bit too blue, but I actually think it fits really well with this character in this set. So I think you've done a really good job of choosing that. The hair looks really beautiful, like the bushy eyebrows and the slick back do. Like lots of variation in there, lots of subtle stuff going on. Yeah, I think that's about it. One other silly thing, the shader on his shirt, it feels a little stretched at points, and also it's horizontal on his chest and vertical down his sleeves. And it doesn't really, it feels like it would be one or the other. I don't know why that bothers me. It was just something I was thinking about, because like when you make a shirt, you kind of lay it out and you kind of cut out these things, and the pattern kind of all goes the same way. I don't know. I've never made a shirt before. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any thoughts?
I'm just wondering where the light on his right arm, screen left, where that light is coming from. Is that a light is it from the windows behind him, or are there windows on the opposite side of him as well? Like
there's a window off camera here to the foreground. Are you talking about the light on his arm here or on the back side?
On the elbow, on the elbow bicep area.
Okay.
As you go to the other shots, you'll see it more like that one right there.
Yeah. That's a really good. Great question. Yeah, because like all the rest of it really makes sense. That kind of stands out as being like it's coming in from the wrong direction.
Well, so then I guess I have a question about that. If this was in a film where it was established, let's say it was established that this room was symmetrical and there was other windows on the left, although I guess the light direction wouldn't be funneling in that way either.
It's the direction, it's the intensity of it. If it was softer, you would buy it as being like, oh, it's just bright outside and some of that light is filtering through the one side. But it's because it's so bright and so like you know that it would be like a beam of light coming in the other way, and then it just, your brain's not piecing that together. So yeah, this almost feels like it's from the rim light, and because his arm kind of kicks back a little bit, it like it opens it up a little bit to the light peeking around his arm and getting in there. So my guess is that's from the rim light. And it's in those situations that sometimes you kind of have to do some subtle animation of that rim light over those frames, just to kind of make sure it stays back behind his arm. And do some things like that. Also, yeah, because this bench is here, we know it's not coming in from behind, so it's definitely like there, kind of a thing. Or there, I should say.
Yeah, it looks great overall.
Yeah, like it's really nice. He looks really good. All right, cool. All right, that is all for today, everybody. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. If not, I will see you tomorrow. All right. Be good, everybody.
Thanks.
Talk soon. Yeah, have a good day.